So there's code on screen. Pause if you want to look at it at any length, because I'll take it down in a few seconds, but I will explain it. I did have to make one adjustment, because otherwise, if I did not, what ends up happening is that you can basically grab funds for free because they don't punish. I didn't want to add any punishment though, like every time the treasure finder procs, you like doom increases by 1. Usually you should, but in the case that something else takes care of any costs or exploits, then yeah, we can just we can leave it as is and just make special conditions. I'll explain after the timestamp because I was being very vague there, but I think we have Colt and we also have Goizo question mark. So for timestamp's sake, as we get into Goizo Colt custom character, what we're playing with here is a treasure finder. This is literally just, I just made something random here. So yeah, all I have to say is that the effect is simple, but implementing it in a way that doesn't get exploited gameplay-wise, I think is an important thing to consider. I mean, I usually will set house rules for myself, but that's not going to be the case for everyone. So, as we get Charisma, Light, Strength, Dexterity, Knowledge, and maybe a Takushi-san at the very end of this lighthouse, we're going to play with the illegal den, but whether or not we get enough funds to do so is a completely different story. So, as we move on here, I will explain the code in a bit. Let me just go through the mysteries because I don't want to just cut myself off. And we'll get into it. Metamorphosis, Handkerchief, Kana, Arms, and Orphan. So, perfect. We have Kana right here. And so, you'll notice at the very beginning, the main code snippet, which should be code snippet 1, if I remember my own brain in the moment, is that basically every time you visit a I call it sublocation, but the game calls them town actions. So, for example, the vending machine, we'll just visit the vending machine quickly here. The game will, or the treasure finder will roll basically a coin flip at this point, 50% chance to get 1 fund, basically. That's the long and short of it. However, if you visit places like the home here, this does have an inherent cost, but more importantly, I mean, I did this for immersion's sake. If you visit Kana here, then what ends up happening is that you can't, if I didn't add the second code snippet at the very beginning of the video, what ends up happening is that you can visit this location over and over and over again, and your doom will increase. It does, for those curious about base game World of Horror, there is a self cost, I guess to say, in yeah, there is a cost, or there is a reason why this neighbor town action exists, and if I recall correctly, it enables it enables eels to be a mystery in your run, along with the other things. I mean, I think 7th Curse also does not allow Kana, but you get the point. Basically, it allows things in the mystery to occur. This could be true later on in the future as well, but that depends on whether or not the developer implements anything like that. So again, if you visit the illegal den, as you saw, then we get 1 fund, and that's true for any other location. So I could have coin flipped there and maybe hope for something to buy a higher priced item, but also this meat cleaver just happened to be 2 damage, so, or at 2 funds, so I'll just take it. But otherwise, there's not really much else to say. I could visit the history club once. We can find treasure here as well. Yeah, I know. Maybe it's not as immersive that the school allows you to do. Visiting the school, maybe you find treasure, but maybe you find treasure around the school. So who knows, right? Otherwise, this is really a me thing. I mean, I just literally just went through any of the commented Ito files for PERM and basically just chose something that I could display off a code snippet here. Although I should, at this point, probably make things a lot more basic in that I should just start a new series, because otherwise this could be... I'm throwing in like basic things you can do with PERM among more advanced things like a whole character or a whole mystery. But again, I mean, if this is as a random chill-ish series, I don't really mind at the moment. But if we're to go through line by line, basically comment by comment whenever I get an idea, then yeah, I really should just make a second series. But as we save Kana here and move on, yeah, we have enough funds for a pack of cigarettes. We do take 30% doom for it, but as long as we continue getting funds, there are other uses for these funds as well. Events, if I want to grab anything else in another shop, if I were to do that. Normally, I just like to take cigarettes for the nicotine rush buff, but there are events that just take funds away, and so you can avoid out of funds if you have to do basically a twofer. Because most other locations aside from Neighbor do have an inherent cost, even if it's just preparing. Although in this case, now prepare is worth possibly 2 funds at a 50% chance. But anywho, Metamorphosis, Handkerchief, Arms, Orphan. I'm gonna hope Orphan isn't so bad, so we're gonna take We're gonna take Handkerchief now, just in case I forgot if there was a boss in this mystery. But I think we did get funds. There are a lot of messages that appear when you visit the vending machines. So in this case, the debug messages are gonna get pushed up, but I don't really mind as much. So hey, but otherwise, as we're sitting here, I thought I had to visit the hospital for some reason. I guess not. Anywho, we can also visit the police station. I guess we can wait. Village, yeah, we'll wait. When we run into a village investigation, I'll try to remember to visit the police station, because the treasure finder can proc there as well. Basically, anywhere but the apartments and the home location, you may or may not be able to. Yeah, you may be able to find one fund, basically. So that's all I'm trying to say at the moment. That being said, yeah, our doom is looking a bit high. I probably should have monumented at this point. I definitely should have monumented at this point. I forgot this character has these perks. But we'll visit the monument now and just kind of make up for it. Keep in mind, we do have cultists possibly here. Also, visiting the monument also counts towards the treasure finder. So getting one fund on a proc rate like this is kind of can be kind of strong. That being said, though, I would have probably nerfed the treasure finder probably to like a 25 or 33% chance. 15% is too low. 50% I believe is too high. So although if you really want to be safe, I would if I were to publicly release something like the treasure finder, it would be at a 50% rate. You're not often going to use funds, but I'm trying to think of situations in which having a lot of funds would help out midway or late into the run. So that's all I'm trying to say. I just realized I took this boss fight. We're taking one doom, so it's not so bad, but yeah, it's not the greatest. This is a very chunky encounter because even though the enemies themselves aren't chunky, there are a lot of them, as you can see on screen. So hey, I was going to mention something and I decided against it. So yeah, as we continue this onward, basically, again, this is a very me PERM item. Again, to note, this only exists on PERM. You cannot currently make custom items, if nothing else, in base World of Horror. So yeah, you need to be using PERM. We did get a gruesome totem. This character starts with My Weird Collection, which might be a bit strong, but that's a far cry from what you would normally be given, because if you download this character right now, again, this PERM version of this character with the treasure finder is not anywhere, just to state that right now. What am I doing here? Arms into... Oh my goodness, by the way, we do have arms. Okay, I guess Metamorphosis now. This character does not exist in PERM. The PERM version of this character doesn't exist, that's all I'm trying to say. But if you download the actual version of this character that can be played without PERM, most certainly, she has an item that basically can't be taken away, and really that's basically just working with a bug that currently exists with custom content, which is better than a crash, all things considered, so... Hey, but... we're going to gamble here and hope for the best. Well, I did what I did. I think I just have to stick with it now. Yeah, I have to stick with it. Do I have to stick with it? I could gamble again. 85-80. Let's go for it. 64%-ish. Never mind. I can't do math. Should have traded Reason there. It's fine. But yeah, you'll be surprised, especially if it's an action that you are doing a lot of the time. Also, I just realized I took seashells instead. Oh, no, that's the regular seashell custom event that I added. So that's interesting to note, because that is something I mentioned a long time ago in the episodes in which I made a PERM change to the seashells mystery. Again, to note really... Oh my goodness, 11 rolls. To note really quickly... I did a few videos where I was testing out seashells as a mystery and adding some PERM stuff to it. To that end, I added a 2-nailed. Okay, good. I added an event that can just proc randomly, so that way, even if you're not playing with seashells at the moment, that sounds like a sentence. Then yeah, you can proc I meant to set it up so that you can proc basically the boss. I just realized I have 3 stamina going into this boss encounter. We have Book of Gore, but if possible, I would like to not do that. Unfortunately, I don't think I get the choice. So we'll throw 55% out here twice, but after that, if we don't hit enough of these, I mean, we're gonna use Book of Gore anyway, but we're gonna Book of Gore, I think, twice. So Infected Wound, Exposed Ribs. That's not the worst thing in the world, so gamble. I really want to hit both of these, though. This would give me so much to work with because I have the wooden bat to throw. So, okay, so At this point, we do desperate... Why can we do desperate attack? Wait a second. Or did I hear... What is happening here? I'm not seeing things, am I? Well... normally I would not do this, but I'm curious as to what happens here, so I'm going to do this for bug testing reasons. Oh, it actually went through, and we now have 2 gruesome totems, but we can sell 1 for the moment, and off we go. I could have also just used the pack of cigarettes, but I think we're fine. I did throw the empty bottle as well, so hey. Something to note here is that the treasure finder, again, as stated, it has to be an inventory. It's not something I can equip. I didn't want it to be equipable. That's just the choice I made as we take arms here. And yeah, I just realized maybe that's not stamina. I looked at the perk and said stamina. Maybe these extra funds that I could get might be worth something. If I go in, no, we did not. So instead, we're just gonna grab these painkillers and move on with life. I would basically a twofer. So what I meant by that earlier, I think I wanted to explain is that if you, the way that I designed this really quickly for myself, because again, this PERM item is not out, the treasure finder is not out anywhere on the internet, is that, yeah, okay, we should be good. Yeah, is that you're meant to use it when you're going to use it anyway, so you shouldn't be going out of your way to use an item like this. If you're, say, shopping for a weapon at the beginning of the mystery, then yes, it would make sense. You can try to finesse things, as I mentioned earlier in this video, where, hey, I don't have enough funds for, say, I might not have enough funds to get the monkey wrench, so I'm going to gamble on 50%. And if you enter the store and the monkey wrench appears, but you don't get funds, then yeah, you can have fun like that, but I didn't want to take the risk this time. But one thing to note as we kind of move on to autopilot here is that I will be doing 2 videos on the treasure finder here. I might add some things, because again, I just did this really quickly. Funny enough, it took me more time to figure out how to add exceptions to the treasure finder, namely, if you visit Kana later on. Also, this is a Kana, yeah. So, arms, 4th mystery onward, we're in pain. We can brace, but we're in pain. But, yeah, if you visit Kana at their apartment, then you can proc the... I had to make sure because I was thinking of home, but it's called apartments. That's not what it's actually called if you're working with code, by the way. So to mention that part, I think it's like, if I recall my own code, because I'm forgetting at the moment, it's like location something. So you're looking at the location, and it's actually a number and not a string, if I recall. And actually, I blindly just figured that out. I didn't... And then I did a little check just to see in the places where I can be educated. And yeah, that turns out that's true. Also, we need a painkiller here because I need to brace more. No, I can't kick. I just realized I have to go for 2 of these attacks. I think I actually have to hit both of these attacks. If not, I guess we'll see what happens. We do still have Book of Gore, but I would like to not use it and just give myself badly bleeding at some point. So instead, 13 damage. Off we go. Sorry, my voice muffled for a bit because I had to scratch my nose, but as we get a ritual robe because my weird collection, we get to level up again. And this character, I think... Is that the only perk pack she has? I think it's... No way, right? But anyway, we're going to take quick thinking because of flashback reasons. And let's grab these actual thingamajiggies. I actually could have used a brick here, so you know what? Let's see. It was the black hair and the sewing kit. I just have to remind myself really quickly that I can use to get a 3-all recovery item. But into Orphan we go. So, as we follow, I don't remember his name. Does it? Okay, Shinsuke. Shinsuke. What's his whole name? I thought it asked for the whole name. Never mind. I'm thinking of another mystery. This is another mystery, by the way. This is about an unlucky dude and not the disappearance of students. By the way, double sever? Yeah, double sever for a reason. I'll take it. I could throw a brick and end this encounter sooner, perfectly, but because the brick does 5 damage, and as you notice, hey, the ghost has 5 HP left, but we just want to get out of this, and we'll autopilot our way to the end. That being said, yeah, I should have just popped the cigarettes at this point. Would have been a good call, because we just ran into the cultist hunter. In fact, I should have popped the cigarettes at the beginning of this mystery, but I didn't do that either, so... thankfully we get bonus damage. I think this is guaranteed. Yeah, if I do 3 attack boosts instead, yeah. 3 attack boost, meat cleaver attack. Although that... Okay, yeah, and then we zooped over to the hospital, so let's finally... Police station. I don't know if we have a lot of hospital encounters, but I'm just taking the handcuffs to be certain. And, yeah, we have Book of Gore when we have 10 extra Doom to work with. We should be fine here. We've got another something of black hair. What's the singular form? I'm going crazy. Anywho, let's move on. But yeah, not much else to say. If you have any ideas, feel free to just let me know. If you have any questions or you want to see me try to implement something, or if you want to implement something yourself. Oh, by the way, village, by the way, I just realized. If you want to implement something on your own, I just forgot my own thing. Ask me, and then I'll try to do it. That way I can show you, because obviously I'm showing you code snippets at the very beginning of the thingy-majiggy, at the very beginning of the video. So, hey. But anyways, we get a rock ring. We don't particularly need it. Yeah, actually we do need it. So, let's do a thing. Actually, I think the ring. No, we just need to. Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit of finesse here, even though it's not much finesse. But basically, I think, yeah, before anything, we would probably need to equip the rock ring first. So we equip the rock ring, pass the strength check, and then equip the gruesome totem afterward. And at this point, because we're effectively at 63% doom, we're just gonna heal a bunch here, and off we go. That being said, I could have just added the quote-unquote precious journal as well, which is the item this character normally starts with without perm. But again, I'm just exploiting mainly a bug to basically add the mechanic that you have less inventory space. That's the at the time of making this character, that's the most innovative I could have gotten with her. But anyway, if we're gonna run out of Doom, then we could do a thing. One last thing here, aesthetic-wise, I should probably make her hair a bit more detailed, but otherwise, not really much else to say here. If you, the viewer, have anything to say, any questions to ask, comments, concerns, criticism, and the usual, you know what to do. Otherwise, I won't take much more of your time. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!